Once upon a time, being Desi abroad meant polite nods, academic excellence, hardworking shopkeepers, and cultural modesty. Now? The term is slowly becoming synonymous with Gawaar-Swag, a toxic cocktail of arrogance, ignorance, and loud nationalism. You see them at airports, demanding to be seated first despite boarding zones. You hear them on flights, shouting Hum Indian Hain, Hamain Koi Kuch Nai Ke Sakta. You cringe at viral clips of shirtless men doing bhangra in hotel lobbies, women screaming at security guards because their VIP puja wasn't respected in someone else's country. This isn't confidence. This is cultural immaturity on steroids. Arrests, deportations, and headlines that shame in Thailand, Indians arrested for bathing in public fountains, yes, as if they were on a Bollywood set. In Bali, tourists caught yelling Sanskrit mantras on hotel rooftops at 3 a.m., disturbing locals and fellow guests. In Dubai, a group was deported for fighting with security over queue protocols. In Paris, Indian influencers were fined for climbing restricted areas for Instagram Reels. And let's not even talk about the dozens of complaints filed against Indian tourists for shoplifting, public urination, and non-payment at restaurants. These are not isolated incidents. They are a pattern. A pattern that is now being noticed in international media. A pattern that is slowly turning into stigma. Nationalism versus license to misbehave. There is a new kind of ugly traveler emerging from India, one who wears his nationalism like a shield, deflecting criticism, ignoring rules, and shouting Bharat Mata Ki Jai in places where no one asked. This version of Indian pride isn't winning us respect. It's alienating allies, irritating locals, and destroying decades of soft power diplomacy. Why do some Indian tourists feel they are above local law just because they come from a billion-strong country? Newsflash, no one cares. The world doesn't owe you reverence just because you're Indian. Respect, like trust, is earned, not screamed. Gawaar-Swag in the age of Instagram Reels. Social media has only amplified this circus. One viral reel, and suddenly the worst of Indian behavior becomes everyone's problem. What gets attention? Standing on sacred statues in Indonesia for selfies. Blocking traffic in Switzerland to dance to Kala Chashma. Running shirtless through London's Harrods screaming India #1. What gets ignored? The calm, respectful Indian family quietly enjoying the Louvre. The software engineer helping a lost tourist in Tokyo. The student participating in a cultural exchange with humility. The camera, it seems, only loves chaos. But the reputation that burns in that chaos belongs to all of us. The real damage, to Indians living abroad. Let's be brutally honest, Indian expats, students, and professionals abroad are suffering because of this. Every arrogant tourist with bad behavior makes job interviews harder for Indian candidates. Reinforces racial stereotypes about Indians being messy and entitled. Damages the credibility of Indian businesses. In some countries, Indian passports are now flagged for extra screening. Not because of racism, but because of a steady stream of complaints tied to specific behavioral patterns. When did we become this way? What happened to the values our parents taught us? Jahan Jiao, Wahan Ki is at Karo. Respect the culture you enter. Cleanliness is half of faith. Speak softly, behave kindly. Instead, today we have influencers teaching the next generation how to smuggle food into flights, argue with hotel staff, and treat foreign security like personal servants. We are, slowly but surely, becoming the very stereotype we once laughed at. Time to look in the mirror. It's not about shaming India. It's about saving its image. We must stop tolerating bad behavior in our own groups abroad. Teach travel etiquette in schools. Call out influencers who promote loud, disruptive tourism. Push for better civic education in our digital spaces. Being Indian is not a license to be obnoxious. Kill the Gawaar-Swag before it kills our global standing. The rest of the world is watching. They see what we do. And if all they see are shouting reels, trash piles, and jail cells, they will judge us by that. We owe it to the generations before us who built a respectful image, and to those who will come after us, to act with dignity. Let us travel not as spoiled brats with delusions of grandeur, but as global citizens of a country known for wisdom, humility, and warmth. India is not a meme. Let's not let Gawaar-Swag reduce it to one.